He'll never ask for it. He might not even know he needs it. But give him this one type of kiss and he'll think about it long after the moment has passed. Because while most women focus on passion, there's a quieter kind of kiss that hits a man in a place he rarely lets anyone touch, his heart. And once you give it to him, he won't just remember it, he'll crave it. When it comes to kissing, most people assume that men are simply wired to enjoy the physical sensation, the heat and the intensity. But what often goes unnoticed is that for many men, a kiss can carry a far deeper meaning if it reaches them on an emotional level. See, while physical attraction gets a lot of attention, what men rarely talk about even to themselves is how deeply they long to feel emotionally connected. It's not just about lips touching, it's about what the kiss communicates. And what they crave most is a kiss that makes them feel understood, accepted and valued, not just desired. Men are often expected to be strong, stoic and emotionally restrained. They're told from a young age that vulnerability is weakness and that expressing emotional needs makes them less masculine. So, over time, they learn to suppress those needs. But that doesn't mean those needs disappear, they just get buried. They show up in quieter ways, like in how much they treasure a specific kind of kiss, the one that doesn't scream desire but whispers affection. They partict words, but stick them quite deep. That kind of kiss tells him, I see you, I care about you, you're safe here. It speaks to something deeper than chemistry. It speaks to his hidden desire for emotional refuge. Now, most kisses focus on heat, quick, passionate physical moments that feed attraction. And yes, that has its place. But what most women don't realize is how powerful a kiss can be when it's slowed down, when it's not about urgency but presence. When a woman kisses a man not because she wants to escalate things, but because she wants to connect, it hits him differently. It feels like comfort, like acceptance, like he can let his guard down for once and just be held, even for a moment, without expectations. That's the kind of experience most men don't even realize they're missing until they get a taste of it. What makes this kind of kiss so rare is that it's rooted in intention. It's about reading his emotional state. It's about offering something he didn't ask for, but needed. It's a quiet act of emotional generosity that tells him he's more than a role, more than a provider, more than someone to impress. It tells him he's human and he matters. And because most men are starved of this kind of connection, they remember it, they crave it. They hold on to the woman who gave it to them, even if they can't quite articulate why. It's not about technique, it's about how the kiss makes him feel afterward. Not just excited, but safe, wanted, emotionally full. And that's a sensation he'll never forget. When it comes to kissing, most people have a default setting, especially in romantic or heated moments. For women, that default often involves passion, intensity, and urgency. It's the kind of kiss driven by desire, where hands are pulling, breath is quick, and it's all about the moment, building into something more. And while there's nothing wrong with that type of kiss, it certainly has its place. It's also the most common. What's less common and often overlooked is the type of kiss that communicates vulnerability, the kind that doesn't rush, the kind that lingers, the kind that says, I want to connect with you, not just consume you. And it's that vulnerable kiss, the one most women rarely initiate, that leaves the deepest impact on a man's heart. Most women believe that showing intensity proves attraction, and it does, but intensity without softness can start to feel performative. It doesn't always allow room for emotional truth. A man may enjoy the kiss, but he doesn't necessarily feel anything beyond the surface. He doesn't walk away thinking about how seen or safe he felt. He walks away thinking it was fun, maybe even hot, but it doesn't leave a lasting emotional imprint. The reason the vulnerable kiss stands out is because it does the opposite. It slows down. It invites stillness. It strips away performance and replaces it with presence. This kind of kiss often happens when the world is quiet. Maybe lying next to each other after a long day, maybe in the middle of a deep conversation, maybe even when nothing is being said at all. It's the kind of kiss where she doesn't try to impress, seduce, or excite, but simply connect. Her touch is light, her movements are slow, and her eyes, if they meet his, say everything without needing words. That's the kiss that tells him he's not just wanted physically, but emotionally, that she's not just looking for spark, but depth. It's in those moments where he feels truly seen, not as someone to perform for, not as someone to conquer, but as someone who is enough, just as he is. And because that kind of kiss is so rare, it becomes unforgettable. Most women don't think to lead with vulnerability. They think strength lies in passion, in being seductive, in showing confidence through bold gestures. But sometimes the greatest confidence lies in softness. It's in having the courage to offer something real, something unguarded, something unpolished. That's the type of kiss that penetrates not just his lips, but his emotional armor. It breaks through the unspoken walls he carries around daily. And even if he doesn't admit it out loud, he notices, he remembers. He comes back to it in his mind when he feels unseen or misunderstood in other areas of life. Because that kiss didn't just show him love, it gave him permission to feel. And that, more than anything, is what he quietly craves. Among all the kisses a man can receive, the forehead kiss is one of the most overlooked and underrated forms of affection. It's subtle, it's quiet, and it doesn't carry the same fiery energy as a passionate lip lock, but its power lies exactly in that softness. It bypasses the sexual and taps into the emotional. And for a man who often walks through life trying to appear in control, confident, and self-reliant, that kind of gentle reassurance means more than he could ever put into words. The forehead kiss speaks to a part of him he rarely shows to the world, the part that wants to feel safe, cherished, and nurtured. Most women don't instinctively think of a forehead kiss as something impactful. It seems small, almost too simple. But that's because most people misunderstand what men really want deep down. Society conditions men to be the strong one, the rock, the problem solver. They're praised when they suppress emotion and stay cool under pressure. But that constant pressure to keep it all together wears on them. And in the most unguarded moments, what they truly long for is softness. Not someone to fix their problems or tell them what to do, but someone to hold space for them. Someone who, through one quiet gesture, says, "You don't have to be anything but yourself right now." That's where the forehead kiss comes in. It's a moment of pure presence. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't ask for reciprocation. It simply gives. And in that giving, it communicates something powerful. It says, "I respect you, I value you, I care about your heart, not just your body." When a woman gently places a kiss on a man's forehead, especially without any build-up or expectation, she taps into something emotional that he may not even realize he needed. It reminds him of safety, of warmth, of love that isn't performance-based. It's a rare kind of intimacy, one that doesn't need to prove itself with passion because it's already rooted in trust. For many men, receiving that kind of affection can be disarming. It catches them off guard in the best way. It's not about being desired in the way they used to. It's about being appreciated in a way they rarely get. The forehead kiss can happen in the middle of a conversation, right before bed, or even after a long day when he's visibly tired. And in that split second, it tells him he's not alone, that he matters, even in his most vulnerable state. It doesn't just soothe his stress, it anchors him emotionally. It becomes a quiet memory he returns to when life feels loud. Because in that moment, he wasn't just kissed, he was seen, accepted, and loved without needing to do anything to earn it. And that's the kind of feeling that stays with a man far longer than most people realize. There's something deeply powerful about a kiss that comes out of nowhere, especially when it's not tied to a sexual moment or an obvious romantic cue. When a woman surprises a man with a kiss at a time he least expects it, maybe in the middle of a conversation, while he's cooking, or even during a moment when he feels distracted or low, it doesn't just land on his lips, it lands on his sense of worth. It communicates in the quietest but most undeniable way that he is appreciated, that he is admired, and that someone sees value in him even when he's not performing or trying to impress. These surprise kisses aren't about passion, they're about presence. They interrupt his routine in the best way, sending a signal that says, I'm thinking about you, you matter to me, right now, this second. Men are used to kisses that follow a rhythm. Kisses that happen when tension builds, when the lights are dim, when the environment calls for it. But a kiss given when no such cue is present hits different. It tells him the moment didn't need to be perfect. He didn't need to be smooth. He didn't need to say all the right things. He was already enough. That kind of gesture chips away at the silent belief many men carry that they have to earn affection through action, success, or performance. A spontaneous, emotionally rooted kiss breaks that belief. It makes him feel chosen in a way he rarely experiences. It doesn't say, I want something from you. It says, I see something in you. What makes this kind of kiss so unforgettable is its authenticity. It's not strategic, it's not placed with an agenda, it simply arrives out of genuine affection. And because it doesn't follow the scripts of physical chemistry or predictable timing, it rewires how he receives it. It feels honest, it feels grounding. It gives him a small emotional pause in the middle of whatever chaos he might be holding in. Maybe he's stressed from work, maybe he's overwhelmed by life, or maybe he's just having an average day. That one unexpected kiss can act as a reset, a reminder that there's comfort waiting for him without him needing to ask for it. Men won't always say how much these surprise moments mean to them. Some won't even know how to process it in real time. But internally, it lingers. It becomes something he plays back in his mind later, especially during times when he feels unnoticed or under pressure. And he doesn't just remember the act, he remembers the feeling of being appreciated, the feeling of being wanted in a way that wasn't transactional. These are the moments that build emotional glue. These are the moments that make him feel not just loved, but valued. Not because he did something extraordinary, but because he's simply himself, and that was enough for you to reach over and kiss him. Eye contact is one of the most underrated tools of emotional connection, especially when it comes to kissing. Most people think of kissing as something primarily physical, about lips, touch, chemistry, but what's often missed is how much deeper it can go when you engage the eyes. For men who are constantly being asked to show strength, composure, and control, eye contact before and after a kiss can be incredibly disarming. It strips away the mask he's been taught to wear and invites him into a space of vulnerability he rarely enters. It's not just about what happens during the kiss, it's about the emotional weight carried in the moments right before and right after. And when those moments include eye contact, they shift everything. Imagine you lean in to kiss a man, but instead of diving straight in, you pause for a second and look into his eyes. It's quiet, it's intentional, and it slows everything down. In that space, without saying a word, you're communicating something deeper than desire. You're saying, I'm here with you, I'm present, I'm choosing this moment with you. That kind of presence is rare. In a world full of distractions, most physical interactions are rushed, habitual, or focused on what comes next. But when you look into his eyes, you eliminate all of that noise. You create intimacy before the kiss even begins. And that does something to a man that words rarely can. It makes him feel like he's not just kissing someone, but that he's being truly seen in the process. Now fast forward to the moment right after the kiss. Most people tend to pull away, change the subject, laugh, or look elsewhere out of shyness or habit. But holding eye contact in those few seconds after the kiss is where the emotional depth really sinks in. It turns what could have been a fleeting moment into a lasting memory. It lets the kiss breathe, and more importantly, it gives both of you the chance to feel the meaning of it. For a man, that moment of stillness and connection is powerful because it's not something he's typically given space for. He's not used to being allowed to linger in emotion. But when a woman holds that eye contact, he doesn't just feel the physical warmth of her lips, he feels the emotional warmth of her presence. He feels safe, he feels important, he feels chosen. This kind of experience creates a bond. It's not dramatic or theatrical, it's quiet and magnetic. It leaves him wondering why that kiss felt different, why it stayed with him longer, why he keeps replaying it in his mind when he's alone. And the answer lies in the way you used your eyes to say what your mouth didn't need to. It wasn't just about attraction, it was about acknowledgement. When you lock eyes before and after a kiss, you're not just touching his body, you're touching his soul. That may sound intense, but for a man who doesn't often get to feel emotionally vulnerable, it's profound. He may not even realize what it is he's craving until someone offers it to him. And when she does, she doesn't just give him a kiss, she gives him a moment. One that makes him feel seen, wanted, and emotionally safe. And that's something he won't just remember, he'll crave it again. And men aren't always taught how to recognize or express their emotional needs, especially when it comes to affection. From a young age, they're told to be strong, independent, and unshakable. They're praised when they keep emotions in check and stay composed in situations that demand inner turmoil. Over time, this constant conditioning leads them to believe that needing comfort, tenderness, or emotional support somehow makes them weak. So they bury those needs, they smile through exhaustion, they laugh when they're hurting. And when they long for something gentle, they don't ask for it. Instead, they silently hope someone will just offer it without needing an invitation. That's why certain types of kisses, especially the kind rooted in nurturing affection, hit so differently for men. They touch a part of him that's been starved for far too long. Most men don't know how to articulate their need for softness, and even fewer are comfortable showing when they feel emotionally depleted. They'll power through their responsibilities, their relationships, and their struggles without ever saying, "I need to feel cared for." But when a woman instinctively offers a kiss that isn't laced with lust or fueled by excitement, but instead carries warmth, kindness, and reassurance, it speaks directly to that unspoken need. It tells him he's allowed to exhale. He's allowed to stop pretending. He's allowed to feel held, not just physically, but emotionally. And because that experience is so rare in his life, he registers it as something deeply meaningful, even if he never says a word about it. This type of kiss isn't dramatic. It doesn't come with heavy breathing or a racing heartbeat. It's gentle, it's slow, it's often placed on his cheek, his forehead, or even his shoulder. It's the kind of kiss that lingers just long enough to say, "You're safe with me." And in that moment, something inside of him softens. The armor drops. The constant pressure to perform, to be strong, to never show weakness, it melts away. You may not cry, he may not talk about it, but internally he feels it. He feels seen in a way he rarely does, because that kiss wasn't about what he could give, it was about what he needed. It's not that men don't enjoy passionate, intense kisses, they do. But those kinds of kisses are usually tied to performance, to chemistry, to a moment escalating. What they secretly crave, though, are the kisses that feel like home, the ones that remind them of safety and care, the ones that don't require them to be anything other than human. And when a woman gives that kind of kiss without expecting anything in return, she creates a moment of healing, a moment where he feels not only loved but nurtured. That experience, though it might last only a few seconds, stays with him for days, weeks, even years. It becomes a reference point, something he holds onto in a world that rarely gives him space to be soft. He may never ask for that kiss, he may never say how much it meant, but he will remember, he will carry it with him, and he will crave more moments like that, not just because they felt good, but because they allowed him to feel whole. They reminded him that it's okay to be vulnerable, that someone sees past the tough exterior, that someone is willing to love not just the strong parts of him, but the quiet, tired, human parts too. And that kind of kiss, simple, nurturing, and deeply emotional, is one he never forgets. In the end, it's not the most passionate or technically perfect kiss that lingers in a man's heart. It's the one that reaches beneath the surface. The one that surprises him with softness, that sees past his strength and touches his hidden need for connection. It's the kiss that says, "You don't have to be invincible with me." Most women focus on desire, but few understand the power of a kiss that makes a man feel emotionally safe, valued, and truly seen. That kind of kiss, the forehead kiss, the slow kiss, the unexpected kiss, the kiss with eye contact, the nurturing kiss, isn't just affection, it's emotional intimacy. And in a world where men are rarely given permission to feel, that kiss becomes unforgettable. It's not just something he enjoys, it's something he craves, quietly, deeply, secretly.